Council Lady Maria Buncamper Nov has the floor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon to the supporting staff, my colleagues, the audience, the listening public, and the viewing public. Thank God it was not just the DP government that negotiated, but Team St. Martin that negotiated. And it is Team St. Martin that brought home what we have today. Just for clarity's sake, to make sure we know what we're talking about. Mr. Chairman, a lot has been said. Many of my colleagues have taken this issue from many different angles. It is my intention today to basically expound on where the leader of the Democratic Party left off, giving the listening public, the people of St. Martin, an overview of the document that was signed. I do have to interject, however, that after the return of the delegation, Team St. Martin, on the 3rd of November, the Democratic Party immediately, on the first working day after that, had a public session and was able to share with the people the information about the document, what was signed, and not only that, be able to give a draft translation in English. And for that, I believe it is worthy mentioning the difference between us all. Mr. Chairman, it was a meeting. It was a meeting, and the delegations that attended this meeting were the Netherlands, so Holland, the country Netherlands Antilles, the island territory, Curaçao, the island territory of St. Martin. And what did they decide? They decided that it was agreed upon in the outline accord that the country, the Netherlands Antilles, shall cease to exist. No more Netherlands Antilles. I didn't make it up. I didn't interpret it. I'm reading it. It was agreed upon in the outline accord that the country, the Netherlands Antilles, shall cease to exist. So there will be no more Netherlands Antilles. Just to make sure that it's clear from which premise I am participating in this debate, I am not here to defend anybody's interpretation of the agreement. I believe if anyone makes a statement as to the effect that it's a restructured, those negotiations led to a restructured Netherlands Antilles, that those who make those statements should explain it themselves. It was agreed in that document in the Netherlands by Curaçao, the Netherlands, St. Martin, Team St. Martin. Team St. Martin. Obviously, we may have lost a member of the team, but Team St. Martin. That the Netherlands, Curaçao, and St. Martin endorse the criteria with which the constitutions, legislation, and government apparatus of the new entities within the kingdom must comply. So Holland, Curaçao, and St. Martin agree on the way our constitution will look, agree on how we're going to make our laws, and agree on the government administration, how it will be set up. The outline. And I want to draw the attention of the listeners. This is an outline accord. There's a lot yet to be filled in. What are some of the details of this agreement? We look at the judicial procedures and maintenance of law and order. There shall be one judicial organization for the new entities of this kingdom. The new entities are the country Curaçao, the country St. Martin, and I want to emphasize that, the country St. Martin, and the 3 islands with a direct new tie to the Netherlands. Regulation of the judicial organization in the Caribbean part of the kingdom shall take place as regulation between countries by consensus status law on the basis of Article 38, paragraph 2 of our charter. So the rules that will regulate our judicial organization will be established in a law that must have our St. Martin's approval. In other words, if we don't agree to it, the law doesn't go ahead. If we don't agree to it, it doesn't happen. Perhaps this is where I should bring in the word higher supervision, or the two words higher supervision. If we don't agree with it, it doesn't happen. Now compare that to higher supervision. There shall be a court in first instance in each country. So St. Martin will have its court of first instance. The responsibility for the supervision of the judicial organization is placed with a joint organ to be called the Supervisory Council. Perhaps that's where the confusion between higher supervision and Supervisory Council came into be. There has to be supervision. There is an entity that is going to supervise the judicial organization. Good. Which is the compromise, or rather, which is compromise of persons to be appointed by royal decree upon the recommendation of Curacao, St. Martin, and the Netherlands as representatives of Bonaire, St. Eustatius, and Sabre. The chairperson is nominated by the members of the Supervisory Council to the Kingdom Council of Ministers unanimously. We have a conspiracy going on, so that I can't read my document. Supervising, in other words, supervising the judicial organization will be done by a supervisory council. And who will be in this council? Persons recommended by Curacao, persons recommended by St. Martin, and on behalf of Sabre and Statia and Bonaire, Holland will recommend a person for this supervisory council. The chairperson of the Supervisory Council will be someone all of the members agree to. All of the members agree to. For the financing of the judicial organization, a distribution code is used, which may be reviewed periodically, and in which we work with service level agreements per country. Of course, the judicial organization costs money. And St. Martin too has to pay its share. The amount that we pay at St. Martin will be reviewed after some time to see if it is still correct or whether it needs to be adjusted. So again, there is room for renegotiation. There is room. It says so in this document. Tracking and prosecution of criminal offenses. The judicial tasks, including the prosecution policy of each individual country, fall under the ministerial responsibility of one's own country minister in question. Our Minister of Justice is responsible for the judicial tasks. Our Minister of Justice will be responsible for setting the policy of prosecution. In order to be able to give account to one's own counsel, the responsible minister shall be able to guide the public prosecutor's office in accordance with policy. In each of the countries, there is a public prosecutor with at the head one joint attorney general for Curacao and St. Martin and Bonaire, St. Eustatius, Sabre collectively. So we have one joint attorney general. Not only us, together with Curacao, but guess what? Sabre, Statia, and Bonaire that are having direct ties with Holland, this attorney general is also their attorney general. Is that a criticism? Is that a bad thing? Is that restructuring the Netherlands Antilles? The Attorney General is appointed, suspended, and dismissed by royal decree. The recommendation is made on the proposal of the Minister of Justice of the Netherlands, Curacao, and St. Martin jointly.